this public discussion and allow me to deliver my public speech. The topic is, where did Kenya lose it? I am talking about lost magma that got a line of weakness along the stratum. And now you have the answer because of what is happening in Kenya today. Allow me to address you, Kenyans. My name is Festus CME from University of Nairobi, School of Nursing. But today, I will not talk to you as from the university, because if I did so, maybe the only university students would listen. If I were your president, I would have done it with the same eloquent, smooth English words, levelized, and words knowing who is speaking them, as he does us. If I were a Catholic priest, say bishop or a pope, perhaps only Catholic Christians would want to listen to me. Again, if I was a pastor, then only my followers would believe me. Talk of Muslim imam, we would be talking of the same language. If I did so as a youth, who knows, like Jesus, they would have said, Eish, we know him. He's an maker in the future of which we have grown together. If I waited for the University of Nairobi Innovation Week, maybe the only chosen speakers would be heard. How about today, I am communicating with my fathers, my mothers, and my fellow children of this blessed country, Kenya, Jamhuri ya Kenya. Najivunia kuwa Kenya. Now, before I answer this question, where did Kenya lose it? Allow me to share my story. And it goes, when I had not joined Kambas, I used to hate the student leader of the University of Nairobi, Paul Ogiri, I hated him with everything he said, he did, or suggested in the media. Literally, I came to realize why he did so and why he said such words. And I am sure you have people you hate, but only because you don't know why they are who they are. And at the end of my speech, you would want to know what makes them, who they are. Perhaps you will love them as I do love Owino today and others do. I am going to answer this question by saying, Kenya, you had better change your way way of thinking and accommodate the fact that you lost it. I repeat, Kenya, you had better change your way of thinking and accommodate the fact that you lost it. I am going to introduce a man perhaps we have known, a man perhaps we have read his words. And this man is called Ludwig Betalantanafi. This man defines two systems that I am going to speak of: open systems and closed systems. And this is what he says, that the open systems are systems that allow interactions between their internal elements and the environment. An open system is a system in exchange of matter with its environment, presenting, importing, and export, building up and breaking down of its material components. What defines Kenya communication system, therefore? A closed system. Yes. On the other hand, a closed systems, they have held to be isolated from their environment. We find an open as a system that interacts with their internal elements and the environment. But we are talking of closed environments that cannot interact with its own elements. Elements are in the environment, but they cannot interact because the system is closed. It is therefore equilibrium thermodynamics. For example, it is a field of study that applies to closed systems. We have another guy, a German theorist by name Niklas Luhmann. Niklas Luhmann, of December 8, 1927 to November 6, 1998, is a German theorist, and he develops a systems theory approach to society and demonstrates the ways in which systems work only in relation with their environment. Drawing on a part of Maturana and Francis Fenula, ideas of autopoiesis and Agelina dialects, Luhmann argues that systems are self-referential autopoietic systems. That is, they produce and reproduce their organization without getting input from a Cartesian subject, and systems maintain their distinction from an environment by the unity of the difference. By doing that, it displaces the mountain subject as a point of reference and instead places communication as the insects. Schematically, a system represents a conceptual meaningful world, a place of identity, past and actuality, whereas environment signifies noise, meaningless, difference, future and possibilities. All among social systems are closed systems except when the system needs information from the environment. This is a true reflection, a mirror who Kenya is in terms of social communication system. Thus, it is up to the system to select the meaningless or noise from the environment and encode it into a meaningful complex in the system, which us because our eyes are blind and our optic nerve is paralyzed and presents with photophobia. Although Hamas maintains the unity of the difference of the system and environment, the closing of the system does not allow innovation or rupture in the order. In fact, the encoding of information in the system reduces complexity of the environment. And so that Kenyan complexity of environment is furious and eager to rupture once there is a line of weakness along the stratum. Talk of court demonstrations, university workers, students, demonstrations, teachers, doctors, pilots on strikes. Again, a French sociologist, Pierre Bourdieu, challenges the same duality of phenomenology, subjective and structuralism, objective. Through this theory of practice, this idea precisely challenges the reductive approach of economics that places symbolic interest in opposition to economic interests. Similarly, it also rejects subject-centered view of the world. Pierre attempts to close this gap by developing the concept of arbiters, a system of durable, transposable dispositions. In this system, agent is not a conscious subject, but the schemes of thought and expression it has acquired are the basis of the intentionless invention of the regulated improvisation. As I close my speech, as I am near to the close of my speech, Jürgen Habermas brings the intersubjective centered view of the world. He develops a communicative theory as a closed system. And therefore, exists a consensus which could only be validated by the communication among individuals. It gives primacy to a certain group of people who have access to a public space and who could communicate in a dominant language of a given context. There is no interaction between the speech act and the consensus. Thus, Habermas' communication theory is a consensus-driven closed system. It is the attempt to rescue the Enlightenment project embedded in logocentrism. And therefore, you and I know very well, we had a good communication channels, including our families. The children of today is sent by a mother and looks direct to a mother's pupils, and there she is, very small. Siendi nimechoka. And today, when other universities hear that a certain university, say the University of Nairobi, is on strike, guess what happens? Peer pressure is the best word. And so, is to high school students. We have led by examples to them. How do you explain burning down of 4 schools the same night? Again, peer pressure, no age boundary. Wait to see the difference between students' strike as compared to their teachers' strike. Students of university have been trained by a closed system that if you want projected lecture notes, go and break down the street lights. If you want the walls to be newly painted, then demonstration of it. If you want skills lab to be credited, bring down principal's office. When did we start demonstrating for what is right? Though to a demonstrator, all seems to be their rights. Everything becomes their right. And today I want to say no demonstration is right unless you follow open system theory argument. And again, I would want to say zero tolerance to demonstration in Kenya. Kill demonstrations and strikes and build Kenya. My assignment for all of us Kenyans is, if I was to give suggestion to my student leader, the right channel is followed until I get a positive or a reasonable negative solution. Who would go on strike? 2, if a leader would have a proper communication system, who would incite followers strike? And now I want to answer your question. Where did Kenya lose it? By the way, did you know that I was against demonstrations and strikes in Kenya? And this question, where did Kenya lose it? How are we going to find it? And my answer is, we are going to find it by how we lost it. Thank you. I love you, Kenya. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you very much.